Skyrim is stacked with small hacks that even veterans will miss. Chances are you won't know all of them, so settle in and relax while you learn something new about the world of Skyrim. Run 2 standing stones at once. Set one inside the Ethereal Crown, wear it, then touch a second stone, and keep both. Passive power with no menus, no fuss. The rhythm is simple. First, make the crown at the Ethereum Forge. Follow Catria's trail through Arcanthams, gather the 4 Ethereum shards, and choose the crown at the Blue Fire Anvil. Once crafted, walk to a standing stone you want to store. Activate that stone, equip the crown, then activate a different stone. From this moment, the crown holds the first blessing while you also wear the second. Unequip the crown to drop the stored one, re-equip to bring it back. No cooldowns, no potion timers, just 2 quiet currents running under everything you do. The best part is how calmly it reshapes a build. Store the Lover Stone to float a gentle plus 15% to all skills, then pair it with a Focus Stone that speaks to the Knight's plan, Warrior for weapon work, Mage for spell practice, Thief for stealth routes. If you expect rough travel, swap to the Lord Stone for armor and magic resistance, keeping the Lover in reserve. The crown turns stones from one-time vows into a pocket cycle. You aren't respecking, you're breathing between rolls. On the road, the effect feels like warmth you forget is there. Crafting loops rise smoothly with the Lover tucked into the band. Dungeon clears tighten when you tap over to Warrior or Lady. Exploration softens under the Steed if you want to move like your pack is lighter. You never lose the stored blessing unless you choose to. If you're experimenting, the reset is painless. Remove the crown, take a new stone as your base. Put the crown back on and touch the new partner. The last one becomes the resident spirit inside the circlet. The fresh one rides on top. The crown also steadies leveling without micromanagement. Instead of swapping gear sets or drinking stacks of fortify potions, you set the 2 stones and let them work. New weapons reach perk thresholds sooner, schools of magic gain confidence without waste, and stealth breaks in faster around corners you used to crawl. If the night turns loud, a dragon at dusk, a giant in bad weather, drop the Lover for an hour by taking off the crown, lean fully into your combat stone, then wear it again when the sky clears. The build expands and contracts without drama. Edge cases stay friendly. Stones at the edge of the map become small destinations you visit for meaning, instead of a permanent marriage you regret. If you've already pledged to a stone long ago, you don't need to cleanse anything. The crown remembers the last one you held and slots it automatically as soon as you perform the 2-step. It's hard to break and easy to fix. 2 blessings, 1 habit. Store a quiet backbone, pair it with tonight's intent. You move through the province tuned to your plan and cushioned by a second current. The Ethereal Crown doesn't make noise, it makes room. Vegetable soup turns stamina into a metronome. Drink 1 bowl and you restore 1 point of stamina every second for 12 minutes, which keeps the bar above 0 and lets you chain bashes and power attacks without stopping. The engine only checks that you have at least a sliver of stamina to initiate the move. The soup's steady tick prevents a true empty. Result: fights shift from bursty scrambles to smooth, repeatable pressure. Make it anywhere there's a cooking pot. The recipe is ordinary: cabbage, leek, tomato, potato, pulled from Whiterun's farms in any inn pantry. Tomatoes can be the bottleneck, but merchants and taverns carry them. Buy a handful and you're set for a long circuit. Each bowl weighs little, costs almost nothing, and lasts 720 in-game seconds. The magnitude doesn't stack, but the timer refreshes on a new serving, so keep one on the hotkey and sip between doors. In practice, the loop feels like a shield rhythm. Shield bash consumes stamina. With soup running, you bash, wait a heartbeat, bash again, and the bar refuses to hit 0. Many humanoid enemies can be kept in a quiet stagger, axe raised, never landing, while your offhand cuts in the spaces. Heavy weapons benefit even more. 2-handers normally punish greed, but with the tick active, you slip power attacks between enemy tells without a dead pause to recover. Dual wielders can spend aggressively, then let the clock refill enough to restart the chain. Archers get a subtler gain. Draw strength stops collapsing mid-aim because the drip feeds the hold. The loop pairs well with other calm tools. Under the Steed Stone, heavy armor stops dragging you between targets. With slow time, windows open wider, and the same stamina trick covers a longer perceived span. Fortify stamina potions still help if you want bigger buffers, but you don't need them. The soup's virtue is predictability. The second hand keeps turning, and your inputs line up with its ticks. Setup is gentle. Before a delve, stop by Pelagia Farm, Battleborn Farm, or the market stalls in Whiterun. Sweep vegetables into your pack and cook at the Bannered Mare's pot. In the wild, hunters' camps, bandit kitchens, and caves with bedrolls often hide a pot. Convert ingredients on site and keep moving. If inventory is tight, cook a small stack and leave the raw extras. Finished bowls are worth more and save space. Edge cases are friendly too. Power attacks that cost more than you can regenerate still fire as long as stamina never truly hits zero. The soup's drip keeps that safety margin alive. If a boss drains you with a shout or a poison, wait 1 or 2 seconds behind cover, and your chain restarts without a potion. When you misjudge, become ethereal, buys the second you need, then the bowl carries you again. One cheap meal, one quiet rule, stamina never quite empties. With vegetable soup simmering under the fight, combat stops being spikes and crashes and becomes a steady pace you can keep until the room is empty. All spells cost nothing for 30 seconds. Secret of Arcana turns magicka off like a switch, so the next half minute is pure casting. No blue bar, no potions, no math. Treat it like a quiet storm you schedule. Press the power, and every spell becomes free. The source is a black book on Solstheim, filament and filigree in Kolbjorn Barrow. Claim its power, and it sits in your powers menu, usable once per day. That cadence is the point. One planned window, then back to normal. A rhythm you can build encounters around. Use the opening seconds to paint the ground. Free casting means runes, walls, cloaks, and flesh spells all stack without cost. Lay an ash rune at a choke, add a frenzy rune on the far side, trace a wall of frost across the approach, then cloak in flames while ebony flesh settles on your skin. None of it touches your magicka pool. You've drawn the fight before it starts. Channeling becomes calm instead of anxiety. Lightning Storm, Guardian Circle, and healing spells normally chew resources. Here they sustain effortlessly. Hold the beam through a giant's whole health bar without a sip of tonic. Keep Guardian Circle glowing while undead. Try and fail to cross the threshold. Stand in sunlight and mend wounds until the field is clear, magicka never moving. Master spells finally breathe. They demand both hands and a charge. With Secret of Arcana active, you're not punished for committing. Walk into position, start Firestorm, and let the blast roll out when the circle contracts. No fear of running dry, no mid-cast chug. If the room is messy, slow time first to buy the stance, then trigger the power and channel at leisure. Summons flourish in the window. Drop a Dremora Lord, then another when the cooldown pings. Add a Storm Atronak for lanes. Recast a bound bow the moment it expires. Conjuration's usual budget disappears, so you maintain a full board without counting. Utility gets a turn too. Telekinesis carries crates and weapons for as long as you like. Candlelight can be refreshed whenever its fade begins. Water breathing becomes a free dive instead of a timed dunk. If you're crafting a tranquil loop between dungeons, pair the power with telekinesis training or long-form restoration without touching reserves. Make the last 10 seconds a handoff. Reapply armor, refresh cloak, top health, and place one more rune to greet latecomers. When the glow fades, you're layered and safe, and the fight runs on your setup instead of your bar. If you need another burst later, rest to refresh the power, or treat it as your anchor for boss rooms only. The habit is simple. Choose the moment, press the power, and cast like the costs don't exist. For half a minute, the blue bar goes quiet. Spells flow, fights slow, and the world feels easy to hold. Make heavy armor feel light. The Steed Stone adds plus 100 carry weight and removes movement penalties from whatever you're wearing, so plate moves like cloth and long delves stop turning into inventory math. Touch the stone on a coastal ridge northwest of Solitude, and the change is immediate. Sprinting no longer drags, turns stop sticking at doorways, and sneaking in steel quits feeling like a dare. Your armor rating stays, the weight penalty doesn't. The first win is space. 100 extra carry weight is an entire dungeon's worth of ore, ingredients, and loot before you ever think about dropping a shield or leaving a greatsword behind. Smithing loops calm down, mine irons smelt, craft, and still have room for the artifacts you came to find. In towns, it means 1 clean selling pass instead of 3. Out in the wild, it means you don't break a quiet walk to hunt for a barrel cache. The second win is footing. Heavy sets normally trim movement speed and chew stamina when you sprint. The Steed Stone clears both without touching your armor's protection. Two-handed builds feel the difference on every dodge and corner. Sword and board can bash, sidestep, and re-engage without the wade that gets you clipped. Archers in mixed gear gain more than they expect. Backing up from a charging Draugr while lining a shot becomes a smooth slide instead of a stumble. Stealth shifts too. Because worn armor counts as weightless for movement, heavy sets stop broadcasting every inch you crawl. You still make some noise compared to true light gear, but the penalty that used to betray you through a crypt quiets down. Dark rooms open to a new kind of approach, plate that prowls. The stone loves long dungeons. Encumbrance used to mean constant triage. Drop the greatsword, leave the dwarven scrap, and the mood of the run broke every few rooms. With Steed active, you pick first and sort at the exit. If you do push past your limit, you're far deeper than usual before it happens, which makes a single fortify carry weight potion or 1 stash by a door enough to finish. It's friendly with perks but doesn't depend on them. Heavy armor's conditioning perk also drops weight penalties. If you take it later, Steed still earns its slot by keeping the plus 100 carry. Extra pocket stacks for another 100, useful on treasure hauls or when you're hauling ingots for a crafting binge. None of it asks for buff juggling, no rest timers, no potions to babysit, just a standing blessing that stays where you left it. Using it is a routine, not a ceremony. Ride out from solitude, touch the stone and forget about it. The effect follows you through snowfields, Dwemer halls, and market days without a single extra key press. Heavy builds gain glide, light builds gain room. Everyone gains time. 1 visit to a quiet ridge and your kit stops fighting your pace. Become invulnerable on demand. Shout, become ethereal, and damage stops. Use the quiet window to let health, stamina, and magicka recover. Step through dragon breath, or drop off a cliff and land without a scratch, then re-enter the fight on your timing. The effect is pure safety. You can move, you can position, you can breathe. You cannot deal damage or interact until the shimmer fades. Any attack cancels the state. Treat it like a pause you carry. The words hide along a natural arc through the game. The first sits in Ustengrav as part of the Greybeard's trial. The second hums from the stones at Lost Valley Redoubt in the Reach. The last is etched into the throat of the world. 1 word already saves lives. 2 and 3 make the window long enough to cross whole rooms of traps or wait out an angry dragon cycle. Use it to erase fall damage. Cliff paths, tower roofs, and mountain shortcuts all become straight lines when you can step into mist and step out at the bottom. In Dwemer ruins, it turns blade halls and piston corridors into slow walks. In Draugr crypts, it lets you stroll over pressure plates and rune clusters, testing layouts without setting off the room. If you misread a puzzle and oil ignites under your feet, fade and let the flames spend themselves while your bars climb. In fights, the shout is timing control. When a dragon pulls air and you hear the throat click, go ethereal and watch the fire pass through you. When giants raise the club and the shadow drops, flicker and let the slam shake the ground without touching you. If a shout or poison has emptied your stamina, fade, circle a pillar, and watch the bar refill to the point where a power attack or a sprint will matter again. Magicka users get the same rhythm. Vanish, strafe, and come back with enough in the tank to cast the spell you actually want instead of a panic spark. The rule that makes it elegant is restraint. Because any offensive action cancels the state, you plan your exit before you enter it. Slide to clean footing, face the angle you want, swap to the right weapon or spell, and be ready to act the instant the glow leaves. Many encounters soften into a 2-step. Take heat, fade, reset spacing, punish. Against bosses with long, readable telegraphs, you can live inside the cadence, present for bait, missed for the hit, solid for the punish, until the health bar gives. It works outside combat just as well, crossing a trapped bridge with broken planks, hopping between ice flows in a river, or dropping into a ruin from a skylight. all become low heart rate moments. Pair it with slow time later for an even cleaner handoff, miss to cancel panic, time stretch to line the answer, then swing. The best part is what it removes: scramble, potion spam, save scum reloads. One shout writes a margin of error around everything you do. Become Ethereal isn't a burst of power, it's a pocket of calm you decide to carry, and in Skyrim, that calm solves more problems than force. Borrow time on cue. Shout slow time and the world drifts. Projectiles crawl, enemies wade forward, and you get clean seconds to heal, swap, aim, or step aside without ever pausing the game. The player moves nearly at full speed while everything else thins to syrup. Chaos turns legible. Choices arrive one at a time. The words sit on 3 walls: Tid in Corvinjund during the Jagged Crown, Clo at Hag's End above the Reach, and Ul within Labyrinthian's depths. One word already stretches moments. All 3 make corridors of air between blows. Cool down is the only gate, and even that relaxes. An amulet of Talos plus a temple blessing trims it by 40%, and dragon aspect later shaves more. Stability and alteration quietly lengthens the effect because slow time is flagged like a magic duration. Use it as a lane maker. In Draugr halls, a Deathlord pulls the bowstring. You whisper, watch the arrow inch forward, and stroll past the line to his flank. In Forsworn camps, a swarm becomes a queue. One enemy reaches you while the rest hang back in a slowed wave. Heal once, switch once, swing once. Repeat the small cycle until the pile of threats turns into a tidy sequence. Archery gains precision without stress. Steady hand already slows the world while aiming. Stacked with slow time, it becomes near stillness. You set distance, correct for drift, and let loose into soft, predictable targets. Mages get a different gift. Sustained beams like flames or sparks track cleanly as opponents crawl through their cones, and runes can be placed mid-fight like you're laying floor tiles before anyone arrives. For melee, it's spacing discipline. 2-handers, normally punished for long wind-ups, swing safely inside the elastic window. Sword and board can read power attacks as they're born, step aside, guard counter, and re-center before the next tell materializes. If stamina dips, you sip once, breathe twice, and the bar tops off while the world takes its time. Pairings keep it calm. Become Ethereal cancels panic. Slow time follows to re-enter with control. Quick reflexes, block, auto triggers a mini slow time when an enemy power attack would land. Shout on top of it, and a giant's club might as well be a falling tree you simply walk around. With the Aetherial Crown routine, you can keep a lover lord backbone running underneath, confident that this shout will give you room to use it. Edge cases behave, traps still fire, but you see each dart and blade long before it matters. Dragon breath still reaches you, only now you walk out of the cone before heat arrives. The shout doesn't grant invulnerability, you must still make choices, but it gives you the gift of seeing those choices early. That's the whole hack. Stretch time, shrink stress. Slow time turns hard fights into solvable puzzles and busy rooms into quiet lines. 1 breath, 3 words, and Skyrim moves at the speed you can think. Turn iron into gold, literally. Cast Transmute to convert iron ore into silver, then silver into gold. Smelt the bars, craft rings and necklaces, enchant them, and sell. It's a quiet, repeatable loop that grows money, smithing, and enchanting without pressure. The spell sits where miners would hide it. Halted Stream Camp, just north of Whiterun, holds a copy of the Transmute mineral ore tome on a table above the pit. Clear the bandits, pick up the book, and memorize it. Any mage build can cast it. Any non-mage can too. Magicka only needs to reach the spell's cost, and it rewards patience more than stats. Grab a pickaxe while you're there. The mine below is rich in iron. The sequence is gentle. Mine or buy iron ore. Stand by a fire and cast Transmute once. Iron becomes silver. Cast again, silver becomes gold. Smelt at any forge. 2 ore make 1 bar. At a workbench, craft simple jewelry. Gold rings, 2 per bar, or a gold necklace. This is why the loop feels generous. 1 ore becomes 2 finished items after the second transmute and the smelt. Enchantment turns metal into value and experience. At an arcane enchanter, Dragon's Reach has 1. place a ring or necklace, pick a steady effect, and use a filled soul gem. Fortify smithing, fortify sneak, resist fire, frost, shock, or fortify health are reliable sellers. You don't need rare blueprints to profit. Petty and lesser souls work fine for early runs. As you collect common and greater gems, the prices scale up and enchanting climbs faster. Name each piece, watch the preview price jump, and craft a small stack rather than a single expensive item. The skill bars rise without grind fatigue. Rooting stays low heart rate. Whiterun forms a perfect hub. Halted stream for ore and the spell. War Maidens forge for smelting and crafting. Dragon's Reach for the enchanter. The market for selling. On the road, convert ore as you walk. Transmute can be cast while traveling between fights, turning downtime into progress. If magicka runs low, let it refill while you loot a room or read a note. No potions required, small optimizations help without noise. The warrior stone nudges smithing gains, the mage stone nudges enchanting. Store one in your ethereal crown if you're running it, or just visit a stone when convenient. A basic fortify enchanting potion adds a little sale value, but it's optional. The real profit comes from volume and calm repetition. Ore, silver, gold, bars, rings, enchant, sell. Leftovers never waste. If you have iron that you don't want to transmute, craft iron daggers and save your stronger soul gems for weapons with high value enchants. If you run out of gems, disenchant a found ring to learn the effect and keep crafting plain gold pieces for smithing experience. Sell them unenchanted and the loop still pays. The loop's virtue is how softly it sits between adventures. You return from a delve, cast a few spells by the fire, watch ore glow into better ore, and leave with lighter bags and heavier coin. No timers, no rare ingredients, no brittle steps, just blue flame, warm metal, and 3 skills rising together while the city hums outside. Refresh every shop's gold and shelves by waiting 2 in-game days. Sit, wait 24 hours, wait 24 more, and the market breathes in again. New stock, full purses, same spot. No city hopping, no vendor circuit. One square becomes your whole economy. Pick a calm hub. Whiterun's Plaza works because everything is 10 steps apart. Bellathor for misc and soul gems, Arcadia for alchemy, War Maidens for metal and hides, the Drunken Huntsman for arrows and bows. Sell once around the circle, buy what you actually use, then open the wait menu and pass time and place. After 48 hours, the list refreshes and each merchant's gold refills. Stand, take another lap, and finish the unload. Your bag lightens, your mind does too. The rule is simple but specific. Merchants reset after 48 in-game hours and usually require you to close their inventory and let the cell breathe. Stepping outside and back in helps for indoor shops. Inns and open plazas handle it without fuss. If a counter seems stuck, walk to the city gate and return. Sleeping counts as waiting, so a rented room doubles as a soft save and a timer. This rhythm turns selling into batches instead of trickles. Come back from a delve, break down what you're keeping, then do 2 or 3 cycles. Sell until purse is empty, wait 2 days, repeat. Smiths regain ingots and leather. Alchemists restock salts and rare ingredients. General stores re-roll filled soul gems and lockpicks. Because you're not sprinting town to town, you also notice when the catalog offers a quiet upgrade, an early enchanted circlet, a better bow, a stack of canis root for paralyzed mixes, without the pressure of take it now or lose it forever. Another breath, another chance. Speech perks make the loop richer without adding work. Merchant lets you sell any item to any shop, so armor goes to apothecaries and potions go to smiths. 1 counter, clean bags. Investor adds permanent gold to favored stores. Master trader lifts every purse across the province. If you fence stolen goods, the Thieves Guild upgrades turn Riften into a one-stop unload even before the 48-hour reset. None of this changes the core habit. It just means each cycle moves more weight. The same timing serves crafting. Need iron and leather for a smithing push? Buy out War Maidens, wait 2 days, buy again, then do your forge run in 1 peaceful session. Training and shopping blend well too. Pay a trainer, sell crafted jewelry back to refill your coin. Wait 48 hours, buy another round of lessons. The clock is your ally. Edge cases behave. Caravan merchants also reset on the same schedule. Catch them when they camp outside Whiterun or Riften, wait the 2 days near their fire, and they'll re-roll stock and coin without leaving the road. If a rare item disappears before you gather gold, don't panic, sleep through 2 dawns and it can return. That's the hack. Make time do the walking. 2 quiet sunrises, fresh ledgers, and a city that keeps saying yes. You stay where it's soothing, sell incomplete thoughts, and let Skyrim's calendar carry the load. Unlock the whole map in an hour, hire city carriages early, and touch every hold capital to set fast travel anchors before you start wandering. 1 quiet loop buys you safety, warmth, and vendors on demand. Later, you explore at your pace, knowing any road can end with a hop back to a gate and a fire. Start at Whiterun Stables, the first carriage most players see leaving Riverwood. Pay the driver and chain destinations instead of walking blind through high-level country. Capitals you want marked: Solitude, Windhelm, Markarth, Riften, Morthal, Dawnstar, Winterhold, Falkreath, and Whiterun itself. Carriages at the big stables will drop you just outside each city, close enough to light the marker. Step through the gate to lock it in. If it's late, rent a bed and keep the run gentle. Route it as a circle to keep loading screens down. Whiterun to Solitude opens the northwest. From Solitude, you're 2 minutes from the Steed Stone for carry comfort and from the Blue Palace's trainers and court quests. Solitude to Morthal gives you an alchemist and a quick line to the marsh holds. Morthal to Dawnstar marks the northern smelter and an easy in for rested bonuses. Dawnstar to Winterhold sets the college hub even if you're not joining yet. The Arcanium and Enchanter are useful at any level. Winterhold to Windhelm secures the Eastmarch markets and a second carriage. Windhelm to Riften adds the Thieves Guild entries and a strong general store cluster. Riften to Falkreath plants a southern anchor with a close Dark Brotherhood door if you plan that path. Finish Falkreath to Markarth for reach smithing, Dwemer scrap buys, and the Lover Stone nearby. At any leg, you can step into a city long enough to meet 1 trainer, tag the inn, and leave. The payoffs stack quietly. Every fast travel point reduces future backtracking. Every inn means rested XP without detours. Every market means quick unloads after a delve. Crafting spreads out: Smelter in Dawnstar, Enchanter in Dragon's Reach, Grindstone at War Maidens, Smelter and Skyforge in Whiterun, full smithing in Markarth, so whatever your bag holds, there's a nearby bench that turns it into progress. Bounty boards and notices appear as you touch walls, seeding optional goals you can ignore now and enjoy later. It's safer than foot travel. Early roads to the northwest or deep south can spawn saber-cats, mages, and giants you don't yet counter. A carriage skips the danger and leaves the discovery for when you choose it. Survival is mental too. With anchors set, you never feel stuck out there. A dungeon ends, you fast travel to warmth, sell, craft, rest, and drift back out when you're ready. Make this pass once, at level 5 or so, then stop thinking about transit. The province becomes a calm web. Wherever you wander, a stable, a gate, and a known room are always 1 map click away. Lay a calm, glowing path on command. Cast clairvoyance, and a blue ribbon unfurls toward your current objective, trimming dead ends without robbing the dungeon of mystery. The spell doesn't yank you to the door, it just sketches the next honest step, so mazes feel like choices, not chores. The tome turns up early and often: general stores, court wizards, the Riverwood trader's shelf. Memorize it once, and it lives in your utility pocket forever. Cost sits low in illusion, so even non-mages can thread it between torchlight and steel. In practice, the effect cares about your active quest marker, not guesswork. If an entry says, "Find the claw," the line points to the right corridor, then to the right landing, then to the pedestal that matters. If your marker is set to a city, it points to the exit that actually leads up, not deeper in. Use it like a pulse, not a crutch. In twisty Nordic barrows, Bleak Falls, Ustengrav, Volskiga, the ribbon flows to a corner and dissolves at the next turn. Walk to that edge, cast again, and watch it reappear around the new angle. You still see wall carvings, still read trap plates, still notice side crypts. You just stop walking 3 rooms the wrong way. In Dwemer complexes, it earns its keep. Tonals and loops make honest circles. Clairvoyance breaks them into pieces you can hold, down to the piston hall, Left past the collapsed balcony, through the door that wasn't a door from the other side. It shines outdoors when the terrain lies. Quest markers float at mountain height, trails don't. Cast, and the line snaps to the goat path that actually climbs, then to the switchback that doesn't appear on the map. In snowfields with whiteout or marshes with fog, you trade wandering for steady progress without turning the world into a highway. Costs and quirks, keep it gentle. The magicka drain ticks, while the effect paints. Drop the cast when you don't need it, and bars stay healthy. The ribbon obeys doors and keys. If a puzzle gate is shut, it stops at the lock rather than spoiling the lever. If you've pinned the wrong quest, it will dutifully show you the wrong way. Open the journal, pick the goal you truly want, and the thread updates. It doesn't reveal traps or enemies. You still read floors and listen for whispers. That's the balance, direction without defense. Pairings make it smoother. Candlelight or a hooded torch clears the ground so the thread reads brighter against stone. Become Ethereal covers you if checking the route wakes Draugr. Cast, fade through a choke point, drop the shimmer once you're past. Slow time is a luxury in crowded wings. Stretch the moment, cast once, then jog through a room that would otherwise eat minutes. Map markers from your early carriage circuit mean that when the ribbon points to leave, you know exactly where that exit will spit you out on the world map. Treat it as a breath you can take whenever the layout starts to argue. One cast, a soft line, and the dungeon's noise quiets into a sequence of right turns. Clairvoyance doesn't solve the place for you. It just draws a sentence under the next clause, so you can keep reading in peace. Turn red to gold, join the Thieves Guild and use fences to convert stolen goods into clean coin. One conversation with Tanilia in the Ragged Flagon turns contraband into cash, and suddenly your pack and your head feel lighter. The on-ramp is quiet. In Riften, slip down into the Ratway, follow the lanterns, and finish the taking care of business job for Brynjolf. Tanilia greets you as quartermaster and first fence. From that moment, anything marked stolen sells normally in her menu. No heat, no awkward refusals. Just a ledger, a price, and space back in your bags. Make it a loop, not a scramble. After a delve, sort once, keep upgrades, disenchant what teaches, set stolen valuables aside for the flagon, walk Riften's canal, climb onto the platform, and empty the red pile into Tanilia's hands. If her purse runs dry, take a seat, wait 48 in-game hours, and sell another round. The gold refills, the shelves re-roll, and the routine stays calm. Pair this with the 48-hour vendor reset you're already using topside, and you can clear an entire haul without leaving the city. Reach spreads as the guild recovers. Do the radiant reputation jobs that send you to other holds, and you'll meet more buyers. Familiar faces who quietly add fence to their services. Markarth, Solitude, Windhelm, and Whiterun each gain someone willing to take red tag items once you've restored guild influence there. The benefit is simple. No matter where you drift, a discreet counter isn't far. Speech perks turn convenience into freedom. Investor lets you put coin into a shop, raising its permanent gold pool. Fence, which requires investor, allows you to sell stolen goods to any merchant you've invested in, not just guild fences. Later, Master Trader deepens purses across the map. The effect is practical. You can cleanse contraband at an alchemist in Morthal, a blacksmith in Dawnstar, or a general store in Falkreath, whoever you've backed, without the trek to Riften. Safety stays in the plan. If you're carrying bounty and prefer not to chat with guards, use the Ratway entrance by the canal or the city's side gate to bypass patrol lines. Inside the flagon, you're among allies. Bounties from other holds don't matter here, and no one asks where that jeweled goblet came from. Sell, breathe, and step back into the tunnels when you're ready. Little optimizations keep it gentle. High-value, low-weight items, jewelry, silverware sets, flawless gems, clear the most weight fastest. Enchanting stolen rings with simple effects multiplies their price before the sale. The stolen flag doesn't block your workbench. If you're running the 48-hour merchant breath, sync your weights so fences and surface shops refresh together. Sell red to Tonilia, wait, sell the rest upstairs, wait, repeat. The point isn't to role-play a villain, it's to remove friction. Fences turn, "I can't sell this here," into one stop, all done, so dungeons become exploration again instead of accounting. Gold climbs in clean, predictable batches. Your carry weight drops. And every time you climb the flagon steps, the city above feels a little quieter. Problems off your back, coin in your pocket, and no red tags left to nag. Turn lessons into borrowed coin. Pay a trainer for 5 ranks, then quietly reclaim the gold, either from their pockets or by trading with them if they're your follower. Skills rise on schedule. Your purse returns to equilibrium. The loop has 2 flavors. The first is the trainer-follower method. Recruit someone who can also teach. Fendel in Riverwood for archery, Ayla the Huntress in Whiterun's Companions for archery, Anjata for block, Farkas for heavy armor, Athos for one-handed. Ask for training up to the 5 per level cap, then open the "I need to trade some things with you" menu. Their inventory now includes the gold you just paid. Take it back. No crime, no fuss, and your relationship stays warm. Sleep, level, repeat. The second is the pickpocket route, with a few ranks in pickpocket and ideally the light fingers and night thief perks. Pay a standalone trainer, say Amrin for one-handed or Wunferth for destruction, then save, crouch behind them, and lift the same stack of coins. A fortify pickpocket potion or enchantment pushes odds into comfort. The 50% sweet spot on the bar feels safe in practice when you're saving before the lift. Failures mean a reload, not a bounty, if you're careful about line of sight and doors. Keep the rhythm simple. Train early in each level so the 5 ranks push you into new perk thresholds sooner. Spend the refunded gold like it never left, or bank it for the next round. If you're spreading focus, archery today, smithing tomorrow, use different trainers in the same hub. Whiterun covers one-handed, two-handed, archery, and heavy armor among the companions. Riften stacks speech, pickpocket, light armor, and lockpicking in guild circles. One circuit, many lessons, no long rides. A few quiet optimizations make it smoother. Wear fortify barter gear before you train with a follower who also sells. It doesn't change lesson cost, but it does sweeten any side purchases in the same interaction. Keep your carry weight free enough to absorb the gold stack when you trade it back. Steed Stone or a single fortify carry weight potion keeps the menu clean. If you're using the Ethereal Crown with the lover stored and your current stone set to warrior, thief, mage, training nudges you forward and play finishes the job without grind. Edge cases behave. If a trainer-follower wanders off between lessons, use the wait command or their home schedule to catch them at a fixed spot. Nothing expires. If you hit the 5-lesson cap and still have refunds to pull, reclaim first, then level via normal play or a rested crafting session, and take another set. Anniversary/special edition patches don't remove either method. They only refine I schedules that decide where your teacher stands while you borrow the coins back. The intent isn't to break the economy, it's to keep focus on play. Gold stops being a gate between you and the perk that unlocks a build. Every level, 5 clean bumps, money back in your bag, and off you go. Calm progression, no grind, no guilt, just a quiet understanding with the people who taught you. Swap blessings on demand. Unequip the Ethereal Crown. Touch a standing stone to set a new active power. Then re-equip the crown to restore your stored blessing. 2 buffs preserved, no respec, no backtracking. The logic is simple. The crown remembers the last stone you imprinted while wearing it. Take the circlet off and your stored blessing goes dormant but not erased. Touch any standing stone to claim a new active effect. Put the crown back on and its stored blessing returns alongside the fresh one. One item becomes a role switch. Keep lover, lord, or steed in the vault. Rotate warrior/thief/mage or task-specific stones as needed. Build a calm routine around hubs. At the Guardian Stone south of Riverwood, bank lover in the crown early. From there the triangle is effortless. Equip crown, then imprint lover once, then remove crown, then tap warrior/thief/mage depending on the day, then re-equip crown to carry lover plus today's focus. In Whiterun, touch the lady for passive regen before a long delve, or the steed when a loot run looms. Crown back on, lover remains your quiet XP drip. In Solitude, lord before a boss stretch, adds clean defense without touching your perk spread. Pairings do the heavy lifting. Lover plus Warrior accelerates smithing/blocking/ one-handed training sessions while you still gain broadly. Lover plus Thief turns guild circuits into quiet skill ladders. Lover plus Mage smooths conjuration/alteration grinds where casting is frequent but not frantic. For comfort runs, bank Steed in the Crown and toggle Lord, Warrior, Mage as the day demands. Weightless movement is a relief you don't need to think about. Crafting days become tidy. Store Lover, unequip Crown, tap the Warrior for tempering or the Thief for pickpocket/enchant barter loops. Re-equip Crown, and work in peace. When you head back out, step past a city stone, pick the combat buff you want, and keep walking. No menu storms, no temptation to micromanage every hour. Shout and potion synergies stay clean. Become Ethereal breaks fall risk while you jog between stones. Clairvoyance draws a soft path if the nearest stone is off-road. Fortify barter gear has no interaction with blessings, so you can keep a vendor set in your bag and never worry about losing a stone while swapping outfits. If you're using beast form or vampire lord, the blessings persist across shifts. Your stone mix is still waiting when you stand up. Edge cases behave predictably. Forget to re-equip the crown and you'll notice only one blessing in the active effects list. Put it back on and the stored one reappears. Imprint a different stored blessing by wearing the crown while touching a new stone. The vault updates to that selection going forward. Fast travel never clears the memory. Death reloads preserve it. Anniversary/special edition patches don't alter the interaction. Keep one mental checklist. Crown off, touchstone, crown on. Do it whenever your plan changes. Before a dragon hunt, a stealth contract, a dungeon sprint, or a crafting binge. And your build stays fluid without perk anxiety. The map supplies altars, the crown supplies continuity. 2 lines on your sheet, 1 habit in your hands. Pay once to unlock a city, then slow walk its districts when you feel like it. Front load convenience, back load wonder. The carriage by Whiterun's stables isn't just a ride, it's a map key. Hand the driver a few septims, and the destination becomes a permanent fast travel anchor. Even if you've never set foot past the gate, do this first before the quest log sprawls and the province stops being a maze and starts being a network. The loop is simple. From Helgen's Aftermath or your first visit to Whiterun, step outside the main gate and speak to the driver. Solitude, Windhelm, Markarth, Riften. Each capital sits on his board, each fare cheap compared to time spent walking through Wolf Hills and bandit switchbacks. Arrive at the stables, watch the marker appear, then resist the urge to sprint inside. Turn around, hire the next ride. Chain them. Whiterun, then Solitude's Katla's farm, then Markarth's Salvius farm, then Windhelm's stables, then Riften's South Gate. In 15 quiet minutes you've purchased 4 future evenings of comfort. Wyatt calms the whole run. Vendors, trainers, and beds are never far away. A heavy pack in Deep Folk Crossing no longer means a slog. It means fast travel to Markarth's smelter, a sail to Endon, then a gentle carriage back toward your route. A new standing stone. You want to test pairs with a carriage hop to the nearest city for potions and arrows, then another hop back to the wilderness edge. Winterhold's Cold doesn't demand a long early hike. You touch its marker once and return when you're ready to listen to the wind. This front-loading doesn't spoil discovery because the rides stop at the stables, not the secrets. Solitude's blue banners still wait behind the arch. Markarth's Dwemer faces still hit like a reveal when you walk in at sunset. Windhelm's market hum and Riften's canals keep their first look power. You've only removed the friction between the places, not the feel of them. Carriages also tame quest density. A courier finds you with a letter, you skim it, then pin the errand to a later loop because you know the route is 1 fare away. Daedric invitations, guild introductions, house purchases, each thread can be acknowledged without being chased. The map becomes a board you slide across in measured moves instead of a tug-of-war between distractions. Set one gentle rule and the pacing stays soft. Unlock, don't tour. When you buy the ride to Windhelm, wave at the walls and leave. Later, when the mood fits, return for a whole evening of snow, mead, and smiths. If you want to touch more structure, align the first loop with your planned build. A mage stops at Winterhold early to mark the college. A thief tags Riften for ragged flagon access. A warrior pops Whiterun for war maidens in the companion's yard. The markers hold their place until the character wants them. By the time you're truly exploring, north for ice, west for brass, south for moss, you travel on your terms. Cities are islands you can reach in one click for warmth, beds, and gold. Roads are for when you want to hear your boots. The carriage did the paperwork, your evenings do the wandering. Get endgame damage on day 1. Cast Bound Bow and you conjure a weightless bow that fires its own Daedric arrows and levels archery and conjuration together. No ammo to carry, no gear to grind, just summon, draw, and delete targets. The pickup is early and reliable. Clear Fort Amol's prison north of Ivarstead and read the tome on a table to learn the spell, or buy it from Finis at the College of Winterhold. Slotted on a hotkey, the cast arms you with a spectral bow for 2 minutes. Recast to refresh. Because the weapon weighs nothing, your carry limit stays open for loot, and you never run out of arrows. The spell spawns Daedric-grade ammo each time. Damage arrives in 2 parts the moment the string hums. The bound bow's base is strong, and the conjured arrows land in the same tier as Daedric shots. Add archery perks, overdraw, critical shot, and sneaking multipliers, and this starter spell is suddenly a boss opener. Take the conjuration perk Mystic Binding when you can. It boosts bound weapon power to compete straight through mid-game. Result: a single button gives you a top-tier ranged kit that scales with both perk trees. The loop is clean and quiet-minded. Cast out of sight, behind a rock, around a corner, then move. The initial conjure makes a brief audible cue, so treat it like drawing a real bow. Arm first, engage second. From there, the bow handles like any high-end weapon. Draw speed is snappy, arrows fly flat, and sneak shots land without microphone management. You're not juggling quivers or hunting Fletchers. You're walking into a fight always stocked. Perk synergy turns it from good to absurd. In archery, steady hand slows time while aiming and makes long shots easy. Power shot staggers most humanoids, giving you room to place a second arrow. In conjuration, summoner lets you cast at range, handy for arming from safety. And dual casting doubles the bow's duration, so you recast less. Soul Stealer auto-soul traps with bound weapons. With even petty gems in your pack, you fill charges passively while you play. Oblivion Binding adds banish/turn effects on summoned and reanimated enemies, giving you free control against necromancers. Build flexibility stays high. Heavy armor archer? You keep full stamina for kiting because the weapon weighs nothing. Sneak archer? You carry 0 arrow weight and still hit like you looted a late-game armory. Mage hybrid? The blue bar pays for the conjure, then you deal physical damage that ignores magic resistance. Perfect for Draugr Deathlords and Atronach heavy rooms. If a fight closes, swap to a bound sword or simply sprint. You never paid carry weight to be ready for both. Practical habits make it effortless. Hotkey the spell and refresh between rooms so you never get caught unarmed. Cast before you enter puzzle chambers so a surprise Draugr doesn't start the exchange. In cities, swap to a normal bow if you dislike the summon sound near NPCs. Out in the wild, arm early and stay stocked. For training, use the bow in every dungeon. Archery rises with each hit, conjuration rises with each cast, and you're leveling 2 cores by doing one job well. Bound bow is the calm archer's shortcut. Constant ammo, 0 weight, double skill growth, and damage that belongs at the end of the game long before you get there. Summon it, breathe, and let the string do the talking. Mix Canis Root, Imp Stool, and Mora Tapanella at any alchemy lab and you get a poison that paralyzes and bleeds health. One coating that turns any fight slow and safe. Put it on an arrow for distant topple, on a dagger for guaranteed knockdown, then work at your pace while the target can't stand up. The ingredients are common once you know where to look. Canis Root grows along water and in marshes, Rift riverbanks, the ponds around Riften, Falkreath's damp edges. Imp Stool dots cave floors in clusters, Embershard Mine, Bleak Falls side chambers, and any mossy grotto deliver stacks if you sweep the walls and roots. Mora Tapanella clings to fallen logs in forests, Watch for pale brown shelves on dead wood around Riverwood and Lake Ilinalta. A short loop, marsh, cave, forest fills a satchel without combat. Take the green thumb perk, and each plant yields double. At the table, the math favors calm players. Imp stool supplies paralysis and damage health. Canis root adds paralysis. Mora tapanella contributes lingering damage health. Combined, the poison knocks a target over and keeps shaving life after the body hits the ground. With alchemist ranks and poisoner, duration and damage rise cleanly. Fortify alchemy gear from radiant raiment or found necklaces pushes it further. No need to chase rare reagents. The trio carries the effect by itself. Application is simple. In stealth, coat a single arrow, aim for a patrol leader, and watch the collapse. While the victim shakes on the ground, swap to regular arrows and finish, or close for a power attack. In melee, dip a dagger, tag once and backpedal. The fall buys time for a heal, a buff, or a stance change. The concentrated poison perk stretches each bottle across multiple hits, turning craft time into long, quiet control. Know the limits so the plan stays smooth. Undead, Atronox, and Dwemer automatons ignore paralysis. Dragons as well. Against these, the poison still deals its immediate and lingering health damage, but you won't see a knockdown. Pair it with slow, frost, or a stagger loop for safety. Living giants, bandits, mages, sabercats, trolls, and most wild threats drop as expected, giving you clean windows in places that usually spike the pulse. Routes make restocking painless. Sweep Riften's canals and lakeshore for Canis root. Step into Shroudhearth Barrow's entry caves or any close mine for Impstool. Then walk Riverwood's logging trails for more tapanella before you hit the lab in town. If you're running a home, plant Canis root in planters and store cave mushrooms in barrels near the door. A single fast trip replenishes dozens of doses. Keep a stack of empty bottles on you so discoveries in the field convert immediately. This poison pairs well with quiet builds but rescues loud ones too. Archers lock down chargers before they arrive. Two-handers create safe openings on command. Mages buy a gap to channel a master spell without flinching. It's the same rhythm in every case. Coat, strike once, let gravity and chemistry do their work, and re-engage when you decide. 3 common ingredients, 1 reliable outcome, a calm fight on your clock. Equilibrium plus healing makes infinite casting practice. Convert health into magicka, then heal it back. Alteration and restoration rise together without potions or downtime. Equip equilibrium in one hand and healing in the other. Hold both, and your red bar feeds your blue bar while your blue bar fills the red. The loop is steady, predictable, and safe when you control the room. Setup is simple. Healing is known from the start. Equilibrium sits on a desk in Labyrinthian during the college line, with notes that explain the experiment. Once learned, it behaves like any novice alteration spell. Find a quiet interior, an in-room, your house, a college cell, stand near a bed or shrine, and favorite both spells for quick swapping. Left hand, equilibrium. Right hand, healing. Hold to channel. Release either to pause. No menus, no bottles, just bars breathing in opposite directions. The numbers work in your favor. Equilibrium trades health for magicka at a fixed rate. Healing returns health for modest magicka. Together they form a closed system that generates constant casting events, which is what levels both schools. Add the Mage Stone, or Store Lover in an Ethereal Crown, for passive XP gain, Sleep for the well-rested bonus, and the loop becomes a quiet training session you can run between quests. Pop Fortify, Magicka, or Fortify Magicka regeneration gear if you want the blue bar to rebound faster between pulses of equilibrium. Rhythm matters more than gear. Channel equilibrium in short breaths, 1 to 3 seconds, then swap to healing until you're back to comfortable health. Repeat. That cadence keeps you out of danger while still logging casts. If you take the respite perk later, healing restores stamina as well, turning the loop into a full recovery station before a dungeon. Apprentice/novice cost reduction perks in both schools make the seesaw smoother but aren't required. Safety rules keep it soothing. Do this only when the cell is clear of hostiles. Don't hold equilibrium to 0. The self-damage can kill you if you get greedy or tab out mid-channel. Vampires, survival mode, or diseases that reduce health regen mean you should favor shorter equilibrium taps and longer healing windows. Keep a quick shout on standby. Become Ethereal is a panic button if an unexpected fight intrudes. It buys a few seconds to stop channeling and reset. Use the loop as a springboard. With a full magicka bar generated by equilibrium, swap healing for any practice spell, oak flesh/stone flesh for alteration duration ticks, turn lesser undead for restoration control XP, or rune layering to preload a doorway, then return to healing to top off. Because you're producing your own magicka on demand, you can rehearse master spell channels without watching meters or stacking potions. Inventory stays light. No soul gems spent, no food or tonic consumption, no vendor trips between attempts. It's just you, 2 novice spells, and time. When the session ends, you walk out with higher alteration, higher restoration, a full set of bars, and a calmer mind for the next delve. The hack isn't glamorous, it's dependable. Health becomes magicka, magicka becomes health, and your skills grow in the quiet. Prowler's Prophet turns urns and chests into a gem fountain. Finish no stone unturned, and an always-on effect quietly multiplies gemstones in containers. Light, high-value loot that makes money runs calm and weightless. Gold sapphires where there used to be copper rings. Handfuls, not singles. Value that stacks without clogging your carry weight. The path begins with a strange stone. Pick up any unusual gem and show it to Vex in the ragged flagon. The appraisal names the target, 24 across Skyrim, set into a lost royal circlet. Each is fixed, behind a Jarl's throne, in a guildmaster's quarters, tucked in the back of Nordic barrows, sitting brazenly on a shelf in a noble's home. So progress is permanent once you touch them. The hunt ends in Tolvald's cave, where the crown of Berenzia lies among Falmer, Chorus, and old Dwemer bones. Return the restored crown to the guild and Prowler's Prophet stamps into your active effects. The result is immediate and mechanical. Burial urns and boss chests now roll extra gemstones, often several of high quality in a single container. Flawless amethysts pool beside rubies and emeralds. Diamonds appear where before there was scrap. The effect does not replace other loot. It layers on top, turning every Nordic corridor into a quiet payday. Because gems weigh almost nothing, you carry hundreds of septums in a palmful and leave heavy steel to rust in peace. Root selection makes the most of it. Nordic barrows are richest: Shroud Hearth Barrow, Ustengrav, Volskiga, Corvin Jund, Dead Men's Respite. Any place with clusters of urns pays out. Branching crypts with side alcoves and burial shelves are best. Walk slow and clear every niche. Boss chests at word walls and behind claw doors surge in value too, so even short side cells feel worth the detour. Dungeons that favor crates and Dwemer shelving won't flood you the same way. When you want the soothing harvest, choose stone coffins over brass labs. The play loop becomes unhurried. Enter, listen to the lid scratch of an urn, sweep the room in a circle, then move forward. Avoid encumbrance math. Take gems. Leave iron. Between fights, open minor urns you might normally ignore. Prowler's Prophet makes even corner containers sing. When you reach the boss chest, expect a little chorus. 2, 3, sometimes more gems stacked atop the usual enchanted item. The inventory screen stays clean. Jewels and a handful of choice scrolls, little else. Selling stays simple and low stress. Jewelers pay well, general merchants buy the rest, and fences convert anything stolen along the way. If you prefer routine over travel, wait 2 in-game days to refresh shop gold and offload in batches. Because you're not hauling warhammers, there's no pressure to sprint back mid-dungeon. One trip can fund houses, training, or a new set of enchantments without ever touching heavy loot. The quest's difficulty is time, not danger. Keep a small ledger, hold by hold, city by city, or sweep systematically. Capitals first, then guild headquarters, then barrows radiating from each hold's roads. Many stones sit in places you'll visit anyway, so the checklist completes itself over a long playthrough. The crown run through Tolvald's cave caps it with one focused delve. After that, the effect is forever. Prowler's Prophet doesn't make you stronger in combat. It makes the world kinder between fights. Treasure becomes featherlight, money becomes quiet, and every urn lid you lift sounds like a soft, steady reward. Press the tower stone once a day to pop an expert lock instantly. No picks, no scraping, no noise. It's a daily key you carry in your throat. Look at the problem door or chest, invoke the power, and the mechanism yields without a single bobby pin snapping. Finding the stone is simple if you know the coast. From Winterhold, walk the ice flows northeast into the Sea of Ghosts. A lone standing stone sits on a wind-cut islet. Auroras above it, breakers around it. Touch the rune and the tower appears in powers. It isn't a spell slot, no magicka cost, no school, just a once-per-day command tied to time. Wait 24 in-game hours to refresh. Use is precise. Stand close to the locked object, center your view on the latch, and activate the power. If the lock is expert or lower, it clicks open immediately. There's no skill check, no perk requirement, no chance to jam. The interaction is silent, which matters. In stealth, you skip the telltale rattle of picks and the extra seconds you'd spend crouched at a door. Guards and patrols don't get the audio cue. You move through. Know the limits so it stays reliable. Master locks are beyond its scope. Barred doors, puzzle doors, and requires key quest gates ignore it. Owned containers still count as theft when you take what's inside, and trespass is still trespass. Silence isn't immunity. Treat it as an opener, not a pardon. You also gain no lockpicking experience for using it. You're trading XP for certainty and calm. Where it shines, mid-dungeon shortcuts, city jobs, and nerve-saving emergencies. In Nordic ruins, expert side doors often guard lever rooms, word wall bypasses, or boss chest alcoves. One daily press can have a backtrack or open a clean flank. In Dwemer sites, display cases and storerooms that would tax your pick supply become tap-and-go stops while spheres rattle past. In cities, glass-cased artifacts in Jarl halls or shop strongboxes yield quietly when an objective demands speed. One press, pocket, gone. On Thieves' Guild or Dark Brotherhood routes, keep it for the single lock that would otherwise burn 10 picks and 2 minutes while a patrol cycles around a corner. Because the cooldown is time-based, you can chain it with patience. Clear to a safe nook, wait 24 hours on the spot, and you've earned a second bypass in the same delve. For long spelunks, that rhythm, fight, open, wait, proceed, keeps the evening unhurried and your inventory moving. If you prefer not to idle, reserve the daily charge for the one obstacle you cannot replace, a choke point door between you and air, or the only locked chest on a clean route. There's a soft etiquette to using it. Open first, loot later, and leave the rest of the room asleep. The absence of clatter helps you maintain a low heart rate, especially in places where a failed pick would mean a torch turning your way. If you are building lockpicking naturally, save the power for expert locks and still practice on adept and below. You'll keep your skill rising without feeling punished by bad angles. Some stones flatter your numbers. The tower stone flattens your stress. One clean unlock per day changes how you plan routes, how often you pause, and how loud your night sounds. Treat it like a pocket skeleton key. Spend it where friction would spike, and the world stays open and quiet. Turn walls transparent with a breath. Aura Whisper paints every living thing in a wide radius through floors and stone, giving you room-wide radar for half a minute and turning surprise into a choice. The input is simple, las, ya, near, and the effect is quiet enough to use before you breach a door. The wave travels outward and returns silhouettes, bandits idle by a fire, a necromancer pacing between tables, draugr standing motionless in wall niches until they wake. It works across levels of a ruin. You'll see shapes above and below, arranged like a blueprint. Unlike Detect Life, it costs no magicka, lasts long, and doesn't demand you hold concentration. One breath, and the whole area becomes legible. Use that legibility to plan routes instead of reacting. In a Nordic barrow, count patrol loops and cut between them while they're headed away. In a wizard's tower, watch the mage finish a circuit, then slip past to the stairwell without testing your resist gear. In caves, check for a second pocket of enemies beyond the first chamber so you don't burn cooldowns early. You're not just seeing through walls, you're scheduling a safe path. It also eliminates the ambush problem that ruins love, those 3 statues inland from the coffin. If 2 are hollow and 1 is full of red, you already know which sarcophagus will blow open when you grab the claw. Bridge choke point ahead. If a cluster of auras waits on the far side with 1 behind you, there's a flank tunnel. Turn, clear the tail, then retake the bridge on your terms. Traps stop being surprises because you can infer them. A lone aura across a trapped hallway means a pressure plate puzzle room. Multiple auras on either side of a narrow door means a crossfire if you kick it open. The first hit becomes cleaner. For archers, mark the overseer by his pacing and put a paralysis poison on the arrow you send into that path. His fall won't spook the sleepers outlined in the next room. For mages, lay runes where the silhouettes will step rather than where they are now. 2 lightning runes at a doorway. 1 fire rune in the center line, then back up and pull. For melee, wait just inside the corner. Watch the outline round it, and open with a power attack into a stagger instead of a trade. Synergy stays low stress. Pair aura. Whisper with quiet casting from the illusion tree, and your follow-up prep, runes, calm, invisibility, doesn't disturb the nest you've just mapped. Use it before become ethereal to cross a corridor without damage while knowing who's on the other side. Trigger it right after slow time ends to refresh your picture before you commit to the next room. If you're running the Aetherial Crown with the lover stored, the extra XP makes all this gentle repetition feel productive without grind. Know the edges. Aura Whisper reveals living and undead, but machines are fickle. Don't assume dwarven spheres will light up the same way a bandit does. It won't open barred doors, and it won't move enemies. It simply tells you where they are. Cast it from cover so the shout itself doesn't become the alert. Then walk like you have floor plans. Skyrim's dungeons are loud. Aura Whisper makes them readable. Breathe once, see the room, choose the fight, or walk around it. Tell a follower to take it. Owned items lose the stolen tag, and you can trade them back to your pack. 1 command turns red text into clean inventory and makes house cleaning calm instead of petty crime. The input is as simple as the favor wheel. Face your companion, choose the command mode, and point at what the home or shop marks as owned. Silverware in Dragon's Reach, alchemy stock in a rented room, books in the Jarl's study. Take that. They walk over, pocket it, and the item flips from owned to theirs, not stolen. Open trade a moment later, and it passes to you as ordinary property. No bounty, no guards peeking at your cursor, no crouch and sneak dance across a loud floorboard. It works because the game respects follower ownership. When a companion picks up an object under your order, it's recorded in their inventory as legitimately theirs. Trading with them is not theft, it's consent. That small rule handles dozens of edge cases. Plates from your purchased home when you want a minimalist table, rare books from a keep's private shelf, an enchanted dagger sitting in a do-not-touch display. If a follower can path to it, they can clean it for you. The technique is best in slow circuits. Start with the big visual clutter, trophies you don't want, weapon racks you're repopulating, piles of goblets a previous Jarl thought were festive. Move to consumables and living spaces, salted meats on a longhouse table, wine on a sideboard, salts and lavender on a kitchen rack. Last, sweep valuables that make noise when you steal them, soul gems in a court mage's room, a jeweled circlet in a steward's quarters. Your companion touches them once. The red fades. You trade everything into your tidy backpack. Good partners make it smoother. Housecarls love domestic routes because they live where you're cleaning. Lydia, Iona, Jordis, and Rhea path around tables without getting stuck. Essential quest followers can be pressed into service between steps of their quest as long as you're inside safe interiors. Carry weight perks help. Extra pockets on you, a roomy follower like Feindal or Janassa on their side, and you can clear an entire hall in one pass. If you run the Steed Stone, you'll never need to drop a single plate to make room mid-sweep. Mind the limits. Mounted displays glued to walls often refuse pickup. Mannequins and weapon plaques are better handled by activating the mount yourself and swapping what's slotted. Some items flag as quest critical until their storyline advances. A companion won't take those. Pathing matters. If the object sits behind a steward on a raised dais during court hours, wait until night when the chair is empty, And while the mechanic avoids bounties, it doesn't erase witnesses' chatter. Innkeepers may still remark if you strip decor in full daylight. Night passes or private rooms keep the mood quiet. Use the method ethically where it feels right. In your own homes, it's smart housekeeping. Command your housecarl to gather clutter and convert it to coin or storage. In friendly keeps, treat it as authorized borrowing for alchemy runs and book collecting. In hostile lairs you've cleared, it's cleanup. Send your follower to vacuum valuables while you sort gear. The result is a soft loop. Walk a room, point, and let your companion do the touching. Trade, sort, and leave with a clean conscience and cleaner shelves. Skyrim stays generous, you stay unflagged. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next.